Guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video, as you can see, we are going to be predicting the upcoming knockout stages of the World Cup. Now, I already predicted the groups, and by the way, these are not those predictions because these are 100% accurate because I can't change them anymore. So yeah, I will be discussing the group stage predictions that I made first, and then we'll go on to the knockout stage predictions. So stick with me here, and if you just want the knockout stage predictions, just move ahead in the video. I'll put a timestamp in here somewhere. And also I do have that video up as well, so if you want to see it, it's on your screen here, I think. I don't know. Somewhere over here. Anyway, so also, yeah, I have a cold. My voice isn't too great right now. Nothing I can do about that. Yeah, let's just crack on with it. So yeah, before we go though, like and subscribe, you know, the YouTube shenanigans, the usual things, do that. And yeah, let's get started. So Group A, I'll just quickly run down the groups. Group A, Netherlands qualified, Senegal second, Ecuador third, Qatar fourth. Now, I made quite a bit of a miscalculation here. I thought Senegal would not do without Sadio Mane, which honestly wasn't that much of a gamble to take. But turns out they are still a great team. So yeah, Senegal did finish second. I did want to put them second, but the whole Sadio Mane thing kind of screwed my perspective. The rest is pretty much in order because I said it would be Ecuador, Qatar, then Senegal. So since Senegal is second, the third and fourth are just Ecuador and Qatar. Alright, moving on to Group B, we have England, America, Iran and Wales. Now, that's pretty much what I predicted, like spot on here. I was hoping Iran would do well, and actually other than their 6-2 defeat against England, they actually did do well, but it just wasn't enough. Now Group C, once again, I predicted almost the exact same thing. The only difference was I predicted Poland to not qualify and Mexico to qualify because they have their record. But that didn't happen, and at the end of the day, it was Poland and Argentina who qualified. Mexico was so close. They were so close to qualifying as well. So my prediction was absolutely on point for the most part. But yeah, it was not as straightforward. Argentina, right in the first game, lost to Saudi Arabia. And I said that Saudi would put up a fight. Well, they put up one hell of a fight. Like against Mexico, against Argentina, they were in there. And against Argentina, they actually won. So yeah, it wasn't as straightforward as I thought, but it still ended up being almost the same group anyway. Now Group D, we have France, Australia, Tunisia and Denmark. And boy did I get this one wrong, because I predicted Denmark to actually finish top. They have a good team. They have defeated France before. I don't know what the hell happened to them. They just weren't on their game. Australia ended up beating them and going through to the World Cup knockouts. Now I was hoping Australia would do that, like beat someone and go through. In fact, in my predictions, I did put Australia as second. It's just I put France as third. And you know, the whole World Cup, you know, the group stage curse that has been going on for the champions since, I can't even remember, it's been a long time. And France has finally beaten that. So yeah, France are through as table toppers, Australia are through as second. Tunisia, weirdly, just got that final bit of dunking on France by winning 1-0 against them. But to be fair though, that was a heavily rotated side, and I don't think France were really looking forward to the game. I think they were just mentally resting. So yeah, it's a big win for Tunisia, but honestly it doesn't matter that much. And Denmark, I am disappointed with Denmark because they are much better than that. They should have gone through. And that's all I'm going to say. Now Group E, and this is where I was kind of hesitant to predict this. But turns out if I had predicted it that way, it actually did happen. So Japan topped the group. I said in my other video that if there was any upset coming in this group, it is going to come from Japan. Okay, I think I'm pronouncing the name wrong, but yeah, it is going to come from them, and it did come from them. Not only did they beat Germany, they beat Spain as well. And not only did they beat these two countries, they beat them in the exact same fashion. 1-0 down in the halftime, and then 2 quick goals in the second half. And then like in complete defense. So you have to, right now in the knockout stages, you have to be careful about them. Because they can just turn it up at any point, and they have shown that. Like, they have shown that in the first half, They are just playing a measured football. If they even concede one, they are fine with it, but they're trying not to concede in the first half, and then they are just bringing the game in the second half. Like, they're just looking for that lull. Like, with Spain and Germany, they had a ton of possession, but Japan was just looking for mistakes. Like, just one or two mistakes, and they are through on goal. That's what they were looking for. Like, Unai Simon making the mistake for Spain. I think I can blame Neuer as well for Germany. So yeah, they were just looking for those 2 or 3 mistakes, and that's when they will strike. So with Japan, you need to be careful. Now, other than that, second, I predicted Spain would finish second, but I predicted that because I thought Germany would do well, but they didn't. As far as Spain is concerned, I have no doubts that Spain is one of the most talented groups in the World Cup. And they might still win it. It's not out of the realm of possibility. Like, that performance was not bad. It was just a momentary lapse in concentration that led Japan through, and it was very fine margins. Like, that ball was not out. At first glance, it looked to be out, but yeah, because of the angles, that's why it looks like it has crossed, but it hasn't. So those are something that's just basic geometry. But the thing is, that was a momentary lull in Spain's game, and that is something that happens a lot. Like, Unai Simon has made this mistake a lot of times, and even in defense, like, Spain in defense doesn't really look that strong. They need to do better with their defense. They need to have a better idea of what they're doing. Otherwise, teams with pace will absolutely kill them. Like, Spain, essentially the problems with Spain are the same problems with Barcelona. It's not the exact same way the Barcelona plays right now, but it's the general philosophy is the same. And the general problems are the same as well. So that's something Spain needs to work on. And so I don't think they will win the World Cup this year, but I am sure that in the next World Cup, with these players more mature, more understanding of the game, they are going to be like ridiculous in the next World Cup. Now we move on to Germany, and honestly, I am disappointed. Now, I predicted them to finish first, and they didn't. And they tried their hardest. In the last game, like, it was because of Germany that Spain even qualified. Otherwise, it was Costa Rica who would have qualified. So, Germany, they did well. Like, even in the draw against Spain, I wouldn't say they would really played bad. But that result against Japan really hurt them. And the fact that Spain won with a ridiculous scoreline, that's what really hurt them. Now, Costa Rica finishing fourth, that makes more sense because Costa Rica, at some point, they were actually going through. For like 5 minutes, they were through. But yeah, and that was also a ridiculous place to be in because they lost 7-0 in their first game and they were knocking that team out. So yeah, it was this group was extremely competitive. Like, my respect to Costa Rica. Like, somehow they managed to make it like really competitive. Now, Group F, another upset right here. I predicted Belgium to be first, and I don't think anyone would have argued with me on that prediction. But they weren't. They were bad. Belgium were nowhere in the game. Like, even the final game against Croatia, they had so many chances to win the game, and Lukaku just missed every single one. And so yeah, it is Morocco who go first. The people are predicted to be last, but to be fair, I said that I'm not familiar with Morocco's game because I haven't really seen them play that much. Well, now I have. What a performance in a group stage. Like, they were not favorites to go through here, but they did. They played so well, and they deserve that number 1 spot. At number 2, of course, we have Croatia, number 3, Belgium, and Canada finishes last. But I would still say it is bad for Canada. Like, I actually feel bad for Canada because that match against Belgium, they should have won that. They should not have lost that game against Belgium. That was heartbreaking. Now we move on to Group G, and it's a pretty standard thing. So this is Brazil, Switzerland, Cameroon, Serbia. The only real difference that I had was I put Cameroon above them. And to be fair, Cameroon did defeat Brazil in their last game, like literally today. So yeah, like, it was okay. Like, this was a very close group. And the last game, Switzerland versus Serbia, what a game that was. So yeah, Brazil losing out their game, so that makes sense. Now moving on to Group H, I said it was what? Portugal, Uruguay, Ghana, and South Korea. Wow, that was wrong as well. So Portugal finished first, that wasn't in doubt. Uruguay finished third, Ghana fourth, and Korea Republic second. Now, this is something I did not see coming. I did not think South Korea could actually defeat Portugal. And Uruguay gave their level best there. Like, they did all they could. And they just fell short. Like, you wouldn't think that Korea would go up and win against Portugal, but they did. So they deserve to be there. So now we move on from the group stage to the knockout stages. So in the knockout stages, I would say Netherlands against USA. Like, USA are good. I'm not going to say they are bad, and they can beat Netherlands on their day. I feel like Netherlands are the more balanced team among the two. So I'm going to say Netherlands. Now it's Argentina versus Australia. And now Australia had a great group stage. They won against Denmark to qualify on the last day. They did really well. But Argentina, other than that stumble, like the thing is with Argentina was that they played really bad for like 1.5 games, and they're kind of decent in 1.5 games. Like, I wouldn't say Argentina looking like the team. Okay, actually that's not true. Argentina are looking like the team that were on a 36 unbeaten streak. But Argentina were never the clear winners there. Because every time, like all of the games, if you look at all the games that Argentina played, they were all very close games, like 1-0s, sometimes not even 1-0s, like draws and all that. So it was an unbeaten streak, yes, but they were not really huge performances. Like the biggest win I can think of was against Italy in the Finalissima. So other than that, Argentina never really looked that good. And in the World Cup, that huge stumble against Saudi, and it was against Saudi Arabia. Like, okay, fine that they did well, but it's still Saudi. You shouldn't be performing like that against a team like that. And considering the fact that that continued in Mexico until the coach actually had the sense to bring in some changes, like Scaloni really dropped the ball, I think, in these two games. But they did manage to win against Mexico. And against Poland, I would say Argentina was fairly dominant. But I would also say that Poland didn't play well. Like, this is not as cut and dry as it seems, because Australia right now are running with a lot of confidence. So is Argentina. I would still put Argentina like slightly over Australia. Now, Japan versus Croatia. Now this one, I'm actually going to go a little bit off the beaten path. I'm going to say Japan. The reason why I'm doing that is because I'm not convinced the Croatia team is that good. Like, they are good. They still have some of the best players. Like, Modric is still there. And while he is a really good player, and while there are other good players, like I think Guardiola, and there are many good players in Croatia, I still think like Japan, with the momentum that they have right now, they have beaten two of the best sides in Germany. That's not up for argument. They have done that. And for them to go through and beat Croatia, I'm actually going to take my chances with Japan, because they can do it. They have shown that once they get into that second half, they can just start looking for those little moments of mistakes. Like, they're not very comfortable on the ball, which we saw with Costa Rica. With Costa Rica, they really ideally should have drawn the game. That one goal came from a mistake, ironically. So yeah, they are not very comfortable with the ball, but without the ball, and I think Croatia will have more of the possession because they have the better team. They will try to have the ball more. And so yeah, Japan, even without possession, will absolutely kill you. Now Brazil versus Korea. Now Korea did well in their group stages. There is no doubt about it. They finally ended up defeating Portugal. So all of that is fine, but also this is Brazil. So yeah, you know what's gonna happen here. So now we move on to the second part of the bracket, so which is England versus Senegal. And in England versus Senegal, so now a part of me really wants to put Senegal through, but of course England, like even with, so I don't trust Gareth Southgate at all with this England side. Like I don't feel he's the right coach for this side. They should get a better one somehow. Not me, I'm not the guy, but like you get my point. So the thing is, England should still, like, they have the raw talent to just grind out some of the results. So I think, yeah, England would go through. And as for France versus Poland, I would say France with my eyes closed. Like, Poland against Argentina in that last match, they weren't even in the game. They weren't ever really competing in the game. So for me to put France through here, I'm not even thinking a second time here. So France are through. Morocco versus Spain. This is actually a difficult one to predict because Morocco are one of those teams which do really well even without possession. But Spain, of course, need the possession and they will probably have the possession. So now, once again, I'm trusting Spain to sort of make it through here because they do have some good goal scorers right now. So there are people who are in form right now. And with them dominating possession, as long as there are no slip-ups in the back, they can actually win it. So I'm going to say Spain go through here. Portugal versus Switzerland. Like, Switzerland are a good side, but Portugal right now are more, like, they're better. And now you can say that, hey, Portugal is not just about Ronaldo. And I agree, it's not just about Ronaldo. There is a really good squad there. So I'm going to put Portugal through. And now we go back up. So at quarterfinals, Netherlands versus Argentina. Now this is going to be very close. Now if you remember this game from, like, I think it was 2014, the year Argentina made it to the finals, this was actually a 0-0 draw in the semi-finals. And this ended up going to the penalties and Argentina actually won it on penalties. Now, Netherlands are a really good side. They have really good players. But I just feel man for man, Argentina can match them at the very least. I don't think they can beat Netherlands, but they can at least match them. So since I am supporting Argentina, I'm gonna put them through. And as for Japan versus Brazil, once again, Japan are good, really good, but it's Brazil, so that's who is going through here. Now England versus France, and this is honestly, this could go either way because again, England have that raw talent in them. France have Mbappe. France can literally do nothing else in the field and Mbappe will still score goals. He is that good. He can single-handedly decide games for France. So yeah, I was worried that without Benzema, France might look a little weak, but they don't. They still look as strong as they should have. And that midfield I thought would be a problem, and to me that is still a problem I might come back to later. So I don't know. I would still say yeah, France go through against England. Because England just, I don't feel they're that good. Like, not in terms of talent, in terms of the gameplay. Now, Spain versus Portugal. This is difficult, but I'm going to say Portugal. Now, why do I say that? Like, I said that Spain, they're a very young and talented side. So they can play their best at any time, but also they are kind of immature sometimes. And with Busquets especially being a core part of that team, we saw Busquets making mistakes, like against Japan. Like we saw Busquets making those mistakes. And Portugal will not let you recover from those mistakes. So I'm going to say France versus Portugal in the semi-finals. Now Argentina versus Brazil. At this point you might be thinking, hey, Argentina has beaten Brazil before, like recently. But I would still say this Brazil side, they just are better. Like Argentina have that motivation to win it, like win it for Messi, like to help out Messi. And Messi is no slouch. Like, yeah, he missed the penalty against Poland, but he was in the form of his life. Like in terms of the movements he was making, the passes he was picking out, he was playing really well. But the thing is, that's not enough. That is not enough. Unless you are the best, it's going to be impossible to beat Brazil. And now it is France versus Portugal. And I'm going to take a gamble here. I'm going to say France go through because Portugal are a good side, but once again, France I think can match them man for man in terms of talent, and they have Mbappe. Like yeah, Portugal has Ronaldo, but also it's not the Ronaldo from like 5 years ago. It's Ronaldo now, and he's not the player he used to be. Like he is one of the best players to have ever played the game. There is no doubt in that. But he's not that player. Like it's the same thing with Messi. Like Messi and Ronaldo were pretty much the best players, one of the best players to ever play the sport. But they are not the players they used to be, and they need help. And I just don't think Portugal's squad or Argentina's squad are good enough to help them out. So yeah, France go through here, and in the finals I would say Brazil win it. So I didn't pick score for anyone because I don't want to. So yeah, so far so good. That's my prediction. So if you were in the other one, you know what, I want to change it a little bit. Now that I've put it here, I think Netherlands might actually go through. because yeah, you know what? I don't think Argentina is going to make it past quarterfinals. So I'm just going to put Netherlands in there because it's a safe bet. Alright, that's one change that I did make, and that just makes it better for Brazil, I guess. So yeah, Brazil win the World Cup. Unfortunately, like, I'm an Argentina fan, so Brazil winning the World Cup ain't exactly ideal. But that's just what that's just my honest predictions. Like, I just don't think Argentina are going to go far. Netherlands, they are a good side, and it would be bad to underestimate them. So I'm not gonna. So yeah, Netherlands goes through in the quarterfinals. So yeah, that's my predictions. Do let me know down in the comments below, what do you guys think? Who do you think will win the World Cup? Do you think it is gonna come home? If you think, then go away. I do not want to hear that shit. Anyway, so thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel for more content, and I will leave you guys in peace.